Welcome to The Explainer. We're right in the middle of this massive, fundamental change in artificial intelligence. It's happening right now. It's called the agentic shift. And what that really means is we're at the point where AI stops being just a tool we use and starts becoming, well, a teammate we work with. So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about this big move beyond just chatbots. Then, we'll peek under the hood at the tech making it all happen. After that, we'll see how developers are putting it all together, what it means for you and the world, and finally, we'll take a look at what's coming next. All right, let's jump right in. We're going to tackle the single biggest change happening in AI today. Seriously, it's this shift from an AI that just talks to you to one that actually does things for you. The whole philosophy here has completely flipped. Just think back to 2024. The big race was all about making AI models bigger and bigger. It was this model-centric world. And the main goal? Better chatbots. But now, the game has totally changed. We're in a system-centric era. The focus isn't just on the brain. It's on building whole teams of AI agents that can think, plan, and actually get stuff done through what we call agentic workflows. So here's the bottom line, the really crucial point. The age of the simple chatbot, it's pretty much over. The new standard, the new bar we're setting for this tech, is an AI that can actually work, an AI that can do meaningful tasks all on its own. Okay, so how does this stuff actually work? How do these agents think and create? Well, it really boils down to two core technologies that are powering this whole revolution. You can think of them as the AI's brain and its artist. First, let's talk about the brain. This is the transformer architecture. You've probably heard of it. It's the absolute foundation that lets models like GPT-4 get the hang of human language and code. It does this by weighing the importance of every word in a sentence to figure out what it all really means. And the way it thinks is, well, it's pretty ingenious. It's kind of like a super fast, incredibly smart search engine for language. For any given word, it makes a query, like, what context do I need? Then it looks at all the other words, its keys, to find the best matches. And once it finds them, it pulls their value or their meaning. That's exactly how it can tell that the bank you sit on by a river is totally different from the bank where you keep your money. All right, so that's the brain. Now for this second engine, the diffusion model. And if the transformer is the logical brain, this is the creative artist. This is the magic behind all those incredible AI images you see online. It's the tech that's creating stunning visuals, audio, you name it. And how it creates is just fascinating. It actually learns to create by first learning to destroy. Seriously. It'll take a perfectly clean image and just blast it with digital noise until it's nothing but static. Then, it trains itself to do the exact opposite, to take that static and pull a clean, beautiful image out of it. It's like a sculptor seeing a statue inside a block of marble, but here, the AI is sculpting a masterpiece out of pure chaos. Okay, so we've got the brain and we've got the artist. These are the core engines. So now, let's zoom out a bit and see how developers are actually putting these pieces together. It's almost like they're building with AI Legos to create these super powerful agents we keep talking about. See, building an AI app today isn't really about creating everything from the ground up anymore. Instead, developers use what's called a stack of specialized tools, where each piece has a very specific job. You've got the orchestration layer that acts like the project manager, telling the AI what to do. You have data tools that feed it the right information. You've got memories so it can remember things, and then the inference layer to make sure the AI brain itself is running fast and smooth. And this right here, this perfectly shows that shift we were talking about. We're moving away from what we called chains, which are just simple, rigid sets of instructions. Do A, then B, then C, no exceptions. Now we're building agents. And an agent is different. It can finish step A, look at the result, and decide for itself whether to do step B or maybe jump to step C instead. It's the difference between just following a recipe word for word and being a creative chef who can improvise. Okay, this is all fascinating tech, but what does it actually mean for us, for the economy, for our jobs, and, all the huge legal questions that come with it? Let's talk about the real-world impact. And make no mistake, this isn't some experimental thing just for startups in a barrage anymore. Take a look at this. Over 60% of the Fortune 500, the biggest companies on the planet, have already put this tech into production. It's out of the lab and it's live. This is happening right now at a massive scale. And the potential economic impact? It is just mind-blowing. Goldman Sachs put out a report projecting that AI could boost global GDP by 7%. Now, that might not sound like a huge number, but we're talking about a 7% increase over a decade. That's trillions and trillions of dollars of new value being created, all because of the productivity gains from this tech. Which, of course, leads us to the question that's on pretty much everyone's mind, right? Especially if you work in tech. Are these things going to take our jobs? Are developers going to be replaced? Well, the general consensus seems to be no. But the job itself? Oh yeah, that's changing for sure. The developer of the near future isn't going to be someone who just types out every single line of code. They're becoming more like an architect. They design the big picture, the blueprint of the system, and then they supervise a team of AI agents that do all the heavy lifting, all the boring, repetitive code. It's a huge shift from being the builder to being the lead architect. At the exact same time, there's this massive legal war going on over copyright. It's huge. You've got the tech companies on one side saying, hey, training our models on public data is fair use. It's transformative. And then you have artists, writers, and creators on the other side saying, no way, that's theft. You're just getting rich off our work. And what's really interesting is that this fight is creating a split in the market. You've got the models trained on everything from the web, and then you have these clean models trained only on licensed data for big companies that want absolutely zero legal headache. All right, let's wrap this up by looking ahead. Let's gaze into the crystal ball a little bit and ask, what's next? Where is this agentic shift taking us over the next, say, 5 years or so? It looks like the future is really going to stand on three main pillars. First, agentic intelligence is just going to get way, way smarter. Second, we're going to see physical AI. I'm talking about these powerful AI brains being put inside actual robots, embodied AI. And third, and this one is wild, is synthetic data. This is where the AI gets so good it starts creating its own training data better than anything it can find online to teach itself and get even smarter. So what does that really mean, more powerful agentic intelligence? Well, think about this. Instead of asking a simple question, you could just tell your AI, plan a vacation for me, book the flights, put it on my calendar, and go ahead and email my boss to request the time off. You're not giving it commands, you're giving it a whole project. A project that involves multiple steps, interacting with different websites and systems, and it just handles it, all of it, by itself. And that kind of leaves us with one last really big thought to chew on. As these AI agents get smarter and more autonomous, they start to feel less like a simple tool, like a hammer, and more like a true teammate, someone you collaborate with. And that brings up a pretty fundamental question for our future, doesn't it? As we start working in these new human AI teams, who's really in charge?